friends, and welcome back to Ration Nerd. It is absolutely awesome that you took some time out of your day to spend with this goofball, doing this goofy hobby. Today, I'm pretty damn excited. I have this ration from the Armed Forces of the Republic of Croatia. I've been trying to get my hands on one of these things for a really long time, and if you've been trying to get your hands on it for a really long time, and you know you have, you could do me a big fat favor and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and you know how it goes. Talk to me in the chat. It is always great to hear from you guys. I kind of live for that shit. Talking to you guys in the chat is a really good time, and it's starting to turn into a really good time talking to my channel members over on Patreon. You know it, everybody. Patreon is live, so join Patreon for more opportunities to win cool rations like this. Hey guys, it's me, Ration Nerd of the future, breaking into this video just because I wanted to announce next month's giveaway, which is going to be this 24-hour French ration. This one is good until February of 2026, which is really awesome. So you still have some time to eat this bastard. This is a really good menu. I have a couple of these laying around, therefore I'm going to share with you guys. I have a shit ton of rations, and I'm trying to draw people into the Patreon page, because if you join my Patreon page at $5 a month, you will automatically be enrolled to win a ration. Just ask Scott Mini. He got a badass South Korean ration in the mail from this guy because he won the ration giveaway. And that's the way it works. If you join my Patreon page, there's going to be a monthly giveaway. I'm going to be giving away anything from complete rations of single or 24-hour varieties, or I'll be putting together a big-ass grab bag of all kinds of stuff, from rations, mains, coffees, teas, desserts, drinks, the whole 9 yards. It'll be in a big fat sack of a bunch of fun stuff for you to try from all over the place, but you're not going to get any of it if you're not a member of Patreon, so you really ought to consider going over and joining my Patreon page. At the $5 level, you get automatically enrolled to get you a free ration. This one could totally be yours, but it'll never be yours if you're not a Patreon member. I'm just saying. Patreon members on the Ration Nerd channel, well, they get like free stickers and they get a chance to win a ration, which is absolutely bitchin'. Until next time, eat them up. And if you're on Patreon, you might actually get a chance to really eat them up right along with me. And just to be fair and transparent, I got this ration from one of the viewers. I traded up with him. Waffles, you're the man. This ration is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I'm really happy I got to get my hands on one of these. So without any further ado, because I don't really have any other ados today, at least unless you want to buy some merch, so getting some merch would always be great. Anything that helps to support this goofy channel is greatly appreciated by this guy, who's got 2 thumbs and loves you guys. This guy, that's who. Now let's crack into this individual combat ration type 1 from the Armed Forces of Croatia. I've never been inside of one of these. It has been a really long time since I've seen the contents of a Croatian ration, and I'm kind of going to keep it that way because I really like to discover things as we go along. So this is what a Croatian soldier would get for 24 hours. Let's see if we feel great for them or if we feel sorry for them, because you never know what you're going to get. So this thing is a box inside of a bag, which is kind of cool. So let's cut this bad boy open. I want to go at it from the back because, you know, I like to go at it from the back. So let's see if we can get this out of here without mutilating the bag. And of course we took it out upside down because we're smart. So that is everything out of the bag. That is a really dark bag. Kind of hard to read the lettering on it, but you know what? This is a military ration, and it probably is better off being slightly camouflaged instead of like something bright silver and crazy. So let's flip this over, see if everything survived, see what's on the menu for me today. I'm really happy about this. I really do. Really absolutely love getting into new rations, so I'm really excited about this. This could be a hell of a lot of fun or a complete disaster. You never know, but even if it is a disaster, we're going to giggle our way through it because that's just how we roll. All right, what do we got? Yeah. Oh, this stuff will be a joy to translate, all this nice silver packaging. A big ass 70% dark chocolate bar. That is Absolutely excellent. Extra fine, bitter chocolate. I'm loving it. You're loving it. If you're not loving it, you ain't got no taste buds. Dark chocolate is the bomb. This is actually double wrapped, which is really cool. So it has the original candy wrapper, and then they went and put it in a relatively thick bag, which is pretty awesome. 70% dark chocolate bar. I'm already loving this. A big ass bar of dark chocolate, 70% even. I'm loving that. And that is a 70-gram portion. Not too shabby. Let's just line that up on the side over there. Come on, Mr. Dark Chocolate Bar. We're going to have a good time together. All right, and right out of the gate, we have 15 grams of instant orange drink with vitamins. That's awesome. Says something on there about including 9 vitamins. I think you need more than 9, but that's all right. Let's see what we got here. And we have another one of those orange drink powders. Then we have 30 grams of instant iced tea with lemon flavor added and enhanced with vitamin C. Even more drinks. Hydrating. Hydrating is always good. If you're not hydrating, you probably should be, because if you don't, you're going to wind up having kidney problems later in life. It'll really suck. You'll be on dialysis. I really hear that shit blows. You should probably drink a healthy amount of water. I don't know what this whole hand, I'm just like chopping. I'm chopping that ass if you're not hydrating. Chop, chop, bitches. But seriously, if you're not hydrating, you really ought to drink a bunch of water every day. It'll make you feel better. It'll make you a better human being. It might actually reach down and wash your soul clean of all the naughty things that you're doing. I don't know that that's really the case or if that's real, but if it makes you drink some more and it helps you be healthier, I'm saying it washes your soul clean of all the naughty things that you've done. So I better get some water. Let's get back to this. And then we have a 50-gram sack of pineapple packed in a controlled atmosphere. That's pretty awesome. This ought to be great. I mean, dried pineapple. Who doesn't love some dried pineapple? Let's make some more room for all these silver pouches of goodness. This looks like 60 grams of some kind of peppered biscuit. Honestly, the translator doesn't really want to work with me on this. It does have wheat flour and stuff in it. It feels like biscuits. So for the time being, we're just going to have to assume that these are 60 grams of biscuits. Pepper is probably somehow involved in the manufacture of these crackers or biscuits or cookies. We'll figure them out here shortly, but we got 60 grams of something or the other that feels like crackers. Then we have a whole pack of hard coffee candies with, it says caffeine is added. Christ, I hope so, because there would be coffee in there if there's caffeine. This is pretty cool, a big ass pack of coffee candies. I hope this doesn't preclude me getting a cup of coffee because my lips aren't working as it is. Maybe I should just get in one of these coffee candies right now and get some caffeine in my face, but we have a big pack of coffee candies. That's actually pretty neat. Then we have a hot cocoa drink coming in at 30 grams. That's actually kind of cool, little hot cocoa action. Then we have another 30-gram pack of that hot cocoa. They're really hydrating you in this ration, which is a really good thing. And then we have 3 85-gram packs of Keks or biscuits. These are pretty large and in charge, so that is a hell of a lot of biscuits for a day. Not really sure what the flavor profile of these guys is going to be, but we're going to find out. And then maybe a little bougie, but we have 3 silky and cool refreshing wipes. That's a little spooky, if I'm being honest. I feel like this is something that you would get inside of one of those naughty video stores, like silky cool wipes. Right after you're done spanking your... Never mind. Anyway, see, that's like some silky cool wipes. Kind of reminds me of something you'd get out of a naughty video store. That's okay. Not saying I've ever been in one of those things. I'd never know what the inside of a naughty video, an adult toy store would ever look like. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Well, I mean, you can, but I would really give a shit. And this is 17 grams of instant beef soup. I imagine this is more like a beef bouillon. Not too shabby, I guess. A little basic, but, you know, hey, maybe this ration's a little bit of a basic bitch with a nice, silky, cool ending. Sounds good to me. And then we have 50 grams of papaya chunks. Not too shabby. Where'd my pineapples over here? Then we have a little pack of honey. Honey and biscuits. Sounds like breakfast to me. Oh, could it be? Man, I really thought this was going to be 50 grams of pate. This translates to 50 grams of mixed fruit spread, which sounds like it'd make a great breakfast, but quite honestly, this little soft tin just like really screwed me up. I was really happy thinking I was getting some pate. Guess I got screwed on that deal. But we do have 50 grams of mixed fruit spread to put on some Keks. I guess that's all right. And we also have some tuna. Damn it. This can looks really beat the fuck up. So maybe you know what? This thing is so beat up I can't tell if it is bulging because it's bad. I mean, you know, a ration nerd can hope that it's actually bad and like it just squirts out of the can and I can be like, haha, no tuna for you guys. That is kind of a really neat label. It's got a cool pull top on it. That is a really cool looking label. That little walrus guy on there talking to you about how stanky this tuna is going to be. Maybe I'm going to get lucky and this is going to be something really amazing. I've had some fish stuff that wasn't too bad. There's also a picture of a green pepper and a carrot on there, so maybe this is like some kind of mixed tuna pate. Maybe the vegetables will tame it down. We will see. I will open it. Hopefully that bulging action is just because it got the shit kicked out of it in the shipping process and not because it's filthy on the inside, but we'll find out. All right, now we're talking, and I have 135 grams of chicken pate. That's pretty awesome. That sounds like breakfast to me. That sounds like breakfast. This sounds like breakfast. This is amazing. Hopefully this chicken pate is pretty good. Chicken pate is generally on like kind of the lower end of the spectrum as far as pate goes, but I'm still excited to have it. It makes me just ever so slightly chubby, but check out that little chicken heart on there. That's kind of cool. I wonder how that chicken feels about his profile picture on there. Probably not so great because he's in the can, but that is all right. 135 grams of meat pudding. That is absolutely bitchin'. Can't wait to crack into that particular item. Then we have a 200-gram can of what is just called chicken slice. Not really sure what's in there. I imagine it's probably slices of chicken, if I'm being like a smartass. But we'll check that out at some point in the day. We got 200 grams of chicken slices. And we have another can that has taken a pretty vicious beating in the shipping process. This is just beans with sausages, so we're going to definitely have to check that out. This is a 400-gram can, though. Pretty decent size main. Hopefully that survived and no air got in that can. That is a pretty vicious looking dent, so anything could have happened. But that's the ration game. You ship shit from a faraway country and it can definitely get all banged up like this because, well, nobody in the shipping process, I don't care what country they're from, give two shits about your packages. They really ought to do better. All you fucking people, do better. Just do better. So we have our content sheet. We also have the fact that this thing is, well, kind of good and expired, but that's okay. We don't really care. So we have our content sheet. It's not destructions, so maybe we'll just kind of set it off to the side instead of just hucking it off the table. Meh. And as you can see, that is everything out of the box. So this is everything contained in an individual Croatian combat ration for 24 hours. I'm going to figure out exactly what I'm having for breakfast, and then we're going to get it out onto a tray, and then I'm going to come right back and see you guys, but I'm not going to have any coffee, which is really going to piss me off. So we're just going to have to suffer through the first review. Sans coffee. We're just going to have some coffee candies, which is kind of a bitch, but I'll be back. I swear to God, I'll be back. All right, and welcome back to breakfast. I haven't had any coffee yet. This is total horseshit. Who does a 24-hour ration and does not put coffee in it? I mean, coffee candies, I get, and as you can see, these coffee candies are chilling in like the main compartment of the tray because that's the main thing I need in the morning. So anyway, here's what we're doing. Sorry, it's kind of hard to get excited about a ration when it's this early in the morning and I haven't even had any fucking coffee and all I'm staring at is a pack of coffee candies. So we're going to have this hot cocoa beverage. We're also going to have some of that instant orange drink. We're going to check out a regular old pack of Keks. We have a can of chicken pate, which is absolutely awesome. We have some of these, what I think are peppered crackers or peppered biscuits. We're going to check these guys out here. We have some pineapple chunks, 50 grams. That ought to be pretty good. And of course, the star of the show is going to be coffee candies. So before we do anything else, maybe, just maybe while I'm making up the drinks, I can put down one of these coffee candies and feel a whole lot better about myself because I've got some caffeine in me. Put some goddamn coffee in the ration. Go ahead and put coffee candies in there as well. That's always a bonus. But not having real coffee, I mean, at least it looks like maybe sweet and creamy coffee. I don't know. I'm a little fucking butthurt about it, if I'm being honest. So anyway, so let's check these coffee candies out before we do anything else, because I really need some goddamn coffee in my face. It is too early in the morning for this no coffee horse shit. That's why I'm going for two. So here's two coffee candies in the face. This is the very first thing we're going to review, because I kind of really need to. I'm just going to talk like a retard for the first portion of this review while I'm sucking down those coffee candies. Those coffee candies are nice and sweet and creamy Tastes like a cup of coffee should taste in the morning, but unfortunately, it's not in that hot liquid variety. It's in these little tablets. That's great and all that, and I'm sure these provide a decent caffeine boost throughout the day, but I really need some drinkable fucking coffee. This is cool. These are really good. If this was an addition to the ration, I'd be really happy about it. Don't mind me. I'm just being pissy because there's no coffee on the goddamn table yet. So anyway, coffee candies are in the face. Let's check out this instant orange drink. And as good as those coffee candies were, I couldn't talk like that any longer. I just turned the camera off until I got a chance to finish those things up. So I have 2 candies worth of caffeine in me at this point. I'm not feeling much of a difference. Probably because it's not that hot cup of coffee that I look forward to every morning, putting in my face and getting my body going. The shit I don't do for you guys. Let's get a sniff of this orange beverage. And that actually smells kind of weird. It smells like a mixture of real oranges and something really sour, like in a very odd way. Smells like metallic oranges, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Literally smells like metal and oranges at the same time. Maybe it's iron fortified, fuck if I know, but that's a weird smell. And there are no instructions on how much water to add to that thing, so we're just gonna go easy on it because that is a very small amount of powder. And you know what else this ration doesn't have? A goddamn utensil. So let's just go with a big fat Dutch spoon. Nothing wrong with a big fat Dutch spoon. It's kind of clean. It'll work. And we're mixing up with that orange drink. And that hot cocoa action. That actually smells extremely rich and yummy. Ooh, that's a really dark looking and dark smelling, if that makes any sense. Smells like dark chocolate, does not smell like milk chocolate. That is a nice dark powder inside of that container. Absolutely awesome. Let's get some of that in this glass over here. Ooh, that looks nice and dark and rich. Still not loving the fact that I got fucked out of my morning cup of coffee, but we're gonna roll with it. Let's get some water for that. Hot cocoa. Who drinks fucking hot cocoa in the morning? Like little kids and shit. Grown-ass men in the military need some goddamn coffee. And a little swizz for that hot cocoa. And we didn't even get any napkins. I mean, I kind of feel for these guys. Like, no napkins, no butt wipe, no real coffee, like, not much in the way of accessories, no ration heater. There's lots of shit missing from this ration, in my humble opinion. Alright, so I guess this isn't exactly going to be the intro you were looking for with a nice hot cup of coffee, but we will give these drinks a try real quick, just for shits and giggles. We'll start with this nice, dark, rich-looking hot cocoa over here. And that hot cocoa is absolutely excellent. Only mildly sweet, very dark, rich chocolate flavor. That stuff is really yummy. If I had some coffee to throw in there, it would be 1,000 times better. You know what? People keep saying shit to me about throwing coffee candies and hot water in the comments. Well, today's your day, y'all. I'm gonna throw this in there. Doink! And we're just gonna power through. We're gonna throw 2 of these guys in there. We're going to go back and we're going to stir occasionally and see if that actually imparts any coffee flavor to that hot cocoa, which would be absolutely epic. One can only hope. So let's check out this orange drink. Hopefully I didn't put too much water in this stuff. Wow, that's really tangy, almost a little bit bitter. It has an excellent orange flavor. I have a feeling that the vitamins they fortified that drink with, or what is giving it that weird bitter taste, kind of has that little bit of a multivitamin aftertaste, but it's so tangy with vitamin C that it's actually really damn good. Even with that weird multivitamin aftertaste, that's actually a really enjoyable drink. Crazy enough, it's almost more like lemon than it is orange, but I kind of like that. That's pretty decent. So let's see what is up with these peppered biscuits. I think they're peppered biscuits. I could completely be wrong. Google Translate, as usual, doing a fine job helping me out here. I wonder if these are like gingerbread cookies. That's why they had that peppered thing going on. I'm not real sure. Let's just get them out. Make a fucking mess, as usual. Alright, I have a feeling these are going to kind of be like a ginger snap. I hate to jump ahead here, but I'm just really curious. I mean, that looks like a ginger snap. Oh, and it smells like a ginger snap too. If you don't know what ginger snaps are, I will put a little picture of a box of ginger snaps up here in the corner, just so you can do a little bit of your own research. Google search that image, figure out what a ginger snap is. I don't know where you've been living. You must be under a rock if you don't know what a ginger snap is, or you're a millennial. Not that many millennials watch my channel anyway, go figure. So let's get a bite of that and see if that tastes just like a ginger snap. I have a feeling it's going to. And that really is just like a ginger snap. It has that very pungent ginger flavor, not overly sweet. As a matter of fact, standard ginger snaps that you get here in the United States, they're honestly much sweeter than these guys. These are like the least sweet ginger snap you ever probably put in your face. It's not a bad thing. Not everything needs to be crazy sweet. Those are actually pretty good. Kind of wholesome if you ask me. Maybe I'm a little bit of a goofball, but that might be why you're here. Now let's check out these regular old keks. Well, at least they put a little bit of a wrapper in there for these guys. Hey, check that out. That's not too shabby. They put a little bit of they still took a pounding on the way here. That's not too bad. It's like a little cardboard enclosed bunch of crackers. Not too shabby. Let's check one of these bad boys out. These look like a very lightly toasted multigrain cracker. You can see all those little hunks of grain hanging out in there. Not a bad looking cracker. Let's grab one of these broken guys and get a flavor profile on them there keks for you. And those absolutely remind me of a multigrain saltine. That's kind of crazy, kind of cool. So let's check out our pineapple here. All right, that's not too bad. Little hunks of what looks like dried and hopefully sugared pineapple. Let's bring you guys some of these so you can check these out for yourself. And then I'll just toss them right back in my head. That way we can get a flavor on these crazy little hunks of pineapple action. In the face. Wow, holy shit, Batman. That is absolutely insanely sweet, almost to the point where it's not even enjoyable. First and foremost, it doesn't really taste like pineapple, which is kind of weird. There was also a piece in here that was really hard, like they cut off a hunk of the pineapple heart that you're not really supposed to eat. It just tastes like really chewy, insanely sweet sugar. I honestly don't know how much more of that pineapple I'm going to be able to eat. It's so overbearingly sweet with no flavor other than like fucking crazy sugar explosion in your face. That's not really all that enjoyable. It's almost like if you had a drink that wasn't sweetened, you just dump your pineapple bits in there and just use that as sugar. That's kind of nasty. I'm going to get that out of my face. I mean, this hot cocoa is literally going to taste like it's not even sweetened compared to that pineapple. I wonder how my candy cocoa... Oh, they're melting down. Some bitch. Now we might have some coffee flavor going on in this hot cocoa. That's going to make this hot cocoa absolutely fabulous. I mean, they're taking a while to melt. But those people in the comments that have been telling me for a while to melt your candies into some water and try to make coffee, you might have really had something going on there that I wasn't paying attention to. Let's get another sip of that, see if I can actually taste any coffee in there. Just the tiniest hint, but I'll tell you what, having a really high quality hot cocoa like that and tasting just a tiny hint of coffee in it at this time in the morning when I haven't had any fucking coffee yet, I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. 100%. That was actually a great idea. There's several of you that have recommended that to me, so I can't pin it on one particular viewer. You guys rock out with the cock out. That was a really great idea. I'm glad I listened to you for a change. Now, you know, this is absolutely, unless it comes squirting out of the can at me, this is absolutely going to be the star of breakfast. We got some chicken pate action. Let's get that pate out onto this tray. Look at that. That looks very light. Smells pretty good. Smells like a mixture of chicken and chicken livers, if I'm being honest. Let's get you a close-up of that before any of it comes out of the can. That's super sexy, is it not? Oh, that's just so super sexy. Let's get some of this chicken pate out of here, get it on a kek, and get that in the old face. Maybe that'll pep me up a little bit this morning. I'm going to have a cup of coffee in between breakfast and lunch. I hate to go outside of the parameters of the ration, but when there's no coffee, I don't know that I'll be able to make it through the rest of the day. So as you can see, that is a very light, smooth, creamy pate. Let's just get some of that in the face. And that pate is actually really good. This is absolutely, without a doubt, a very beginner's pate. Very light on any liver or other organ meat flavors in here, which is kind of a bummer for me, but I could see this being very palatable for just about everybody. You could think about it as just like a liquid chicken spread. I mean, that's pretty much what it tastes like. It has a little bit of that tiny little bit of that liver flavor that you would normally find in pate. This is good. It could have a bit more liver flavor in it for me. I imagine chicken is a much more economical option for a military ration, although I'm sure the guys would probably appreciate some regular pork pate. But you know what? If it's between no pate and chicken pate, I'll take this chicken pate all day. Load up some of these keks with some of this relatively yummy but mild chicken pate. As you can see, I'm really stacking it up on there. These keks are really nice. They really taste like a multi-grain saltine, which isn't really a bad thing. Actually, a really versatile cracker. If I wanted to throw some of that honey or fruit spread on here, it would completely work. And if I want to throw some pate or whatever that weird chicken shit is that we're going to eat later, we're going to throw that on here. All right, got a couple of these guys made up. This should be palatable for just about everybody, even if you don't like pate. It's just liquid chicken spread. You could completely get down with it. It's just mushy chicken. I'm going to have a hell of a time editing this video because talking without enough coffee in my face is really difficult, to be quite honest with you. I don't do really well in involved or intricate conversations, especially when I'm just talking to myself. I mean, technically I'm talking to you guys, but really, right now, here, sitting at this table, I'm fucking talking to myself. So having a conversation with myself without a large bucket of coffee already poured down my neck is not easy. So I apologize for the weirdness of this breakfast review. I'm not nearly caffeinated enough. More coffee is indicated, or actually in this case, coffee is indicated. I really am a pate eating fool. I'm pretty much on board with pate, probably from the lowest end of the spectrum to the highest, snootiest end of the spectrum. I will tell you what, this ration is pretty basic. You know, can of pate, pack of keks, some big ass ginger snaps, a couple of drinks, and some sweet stuff that, well, I'm just completely not interested in because it's so sweet, it literally make you want to smack your mama. But this pate is pretty damn good, even if it is a little bit pale and maybe on the less expensive side of the pate spectrum. Oh yeah, that's actually tasting a lot more like coffee, especially combined with this really nice hot cocoa. That's actually pretty amazing. Those coffee candies aren't completely finished melting yet, but they certainly put a lot of coffee flavor in that really already yummy hot cocoa. Now, back to the pate, yo. And those silly sumbitches say you're supposed to have the beans and sausages for lunch. God damn it, it's my ration. I'll eat it however I want. Get those coffee candies as stirred up in there as humanly possible. The rest of breakfast might be a little on the boring side, but that hot cocoa was absolutely amazing. And this citrus drink is pretty damn good. It's kind of like having orange juice and one of those Fruity Pebbles chewable multivitamins all at the same time. So if you guys are old enough to remember that, well, welcome. But it really does taste like that. Like an orange flavored Fruity Pebbles multivitamin, the chewable kind. That's what this drink tastes like. That's probably why I like it so much, because I think I ate a fair few of those Flintstones multivitamins when I was a kid. Looks like we're coming down to the end of things here with the last of this chicken pate. Let's say bye-bye. Oh, what the hell? We'll crack open this honey to see, one, what this honey tastes like, and two, is it any good on those peppered biscuits or big-ass ginger snaps, as I like to call them? That pineapple, I don't really feel like having diabetes directly after breakfast, so I think I'm just going to stick with the honey. That is a nice crystallized honey. That looks pretty decent. So let's just get a tiny nibble of that on its own. You can see it's crystallized, which is never a bad thing. It's getting a little older. Honey never actually really expires though. And that is definitely a very natural wildflower honey. That is absolutely amazing. Crazy thing is, that honey was less sweet than the pineapple. That's a little bonkers. So let's get a bite of this a big ass pepper biscuit or ginger snap with some of that honey on there. That is absolutely a great combination. The honey and that pepper biscuit, absolutely amazing. That is a really good flavor. A very plain ginger snap with just a big kick of nice, sweet, crystallized honey bumping around on it. That's actually pretty gourmet right there. Well, guys, this is a field expedient Croatian breakfast. I'm not really sure if I'm happy for those guys or if I feel really bad for them. Pate is pretty awesome. The keks are actually pretty decent, but not having any coffee, and that dried fruit being absolutely inedible, that's really fucked up. I'm going to try to rearrange myself with a cup of coffee, and then I'll be back at you with some lunch. All right, my friends, well, welcome back to lunch. And I've been kind of hard on this ration thus far. One, because it's missing a lot of kind of essential components for a soldier, mainly coffee. Getting a start to my day without coffee is just kind of like trying to breathe without air. So it was a little bit rough this morning, so I apologize for the breakfast review. Probably short, probably choppy, probably really weird because I had to go have a cup of coffee in between breakfast and lunch, because otherwise I was not going to be able to function through this. I know those coffee candies that I had are supposed to be like caffeinated or whatever. I couldn't tell. Maybe it's just the rich aroma and the deep satisfying taste of a goddamn good cup of coffee that just really does it for me in the morning, and without that I'm pretty much worthless. I still feel like there's a lot of items missing out of this ration that really could and should have been added to it, especially for the weight of the canned items. Some napkins, water purification tablets, an SBIT kit or flameless ration heaters. Lots of stuff is missing from this. I'm not 100% sure what a Croatian soldier is issued with their kit that could make up for some of that. Maybe a mess cup and such, but that doesn't cover the SBIT tablets. Either way, we're going to get into some lunch, and what we're going to have for lunch, we are going to start out with a beef bouillon soup. We're going to have this black tea, fortified with vitamin C. We're going to get into these chicken slices. We're going to see if this tuna survived the journey, damn it. And we're going to have some more crackers or keks, and we're going to try this. Why is everybody like, just stop. Just fucking cooperate for 5 minutes. Well, I'll tell you what, this is like the review from hell. And we're going to have some of this fruit or multi-mixed fruit spread, if everybody can just calm down for a minute and stop jumping around on the fucking table. First things first, let's get into this soup and the drink. Let's check out some beef soup action. And that smells like absolutely nothing. It does look like there's a little bit of noodles hanging around down inside of that pouch. Check that out. So we'll see what that beef soup with noodles is all about. At least there's something in there other than just beef broth. And let's see what this vitamin C fortified iced tea is bringing to the lunch table. Again, I'm blissfully unaware as to how much water to add to these, simply because it doesn't really tell you any of that information on the packaging, which is kind of a bitch, to be fair. But let's get some tea going. And let's get those keks out. I do like the fact that they put a little bit of cardboard in these things, but one of these packages feels really screwed up. Hopefully it's not this one. Maybe I should check first. This one feels like it's more or less intact. One of them felt really beat up. Since I'm having like chicken slices and tuna mush, I definitely want to have some whole crackers and not just cracker dust going on. Well, these took a bit of a beating. Not too bad, I suppose. That's a lot of keks right there. I really do like these multi-grain crackers. Really just like a multi-grain saltine. These are actually pretty decent. And to be fair, the packaging does do a half-decent job of keeping these things in more or less one piece. And it's pretty retarded. Like, I have to save every single wrapper from everything I'm eating so that way I can get the calorie information off of it so I can give you guys a calorie count at some point in this video. There's absolutely no information listed on the packaging other than on the individual items. So I gotta do math. Nobody likes fucking math. Get that nice hot water in the soup. And we won't go too heavy on the tea. If we need to, we can add some more water later. That's usually where I screw up. I just like either completely underdo it and then I'm out of water, or I overdo it and it's just like weak as hell. So we'll try to fall somewhere right in the middle this time. Like right in the middle of the glass. Give these guys a little stir. That still got some chunkies floating around in there. That may need a stir number 2. Let's give this soup a little swirl. That looks interesting. All right, now while that soup is hydrating, let's first start out by checking out something that's probably going to be pretty decent as I save the label for calorie information for later, damn shit. And we'll get this mixed fruit spread out, see what that's all about. Oh, that looks appetizing. Maybe I was expecting something just a little bit more colorful. I think that's more like a fruit soup. We will leave that sit over there because we're going to make an absolute mess out of that without any doubt. And the moment I'm sure some of you sick sadistic bastards have been waiting for, here's this weirdly puffy can of tuna. I'm not really sure if this is just the abuse in shipping process, but I can only hope this thing like squirts out, hits me in the face, it's disgusting, and I'm like, haha, I don't have to eat this tuna. But we shall see. So the moment of truth. Well, before I do that, let me show you. There's a substantial amount of damage on that end of the can, which kind of messes with my head a little bit. And the whole thing has just kind of taken a beating, and you can see that's not right. That's just not correct. But anyway, so let's see. Does this squirt out at me? Come on, squirt me. I don't know if I can really consider that a squirt or not. It just kind of oozed out a little bit. Oh, man. And then the tuna action. Oh, don't drip it where you don't want it. Oh, ooh. Oh, fucking tuna juice. God damn it. And where did that droplet of tuna juice go? Where did it go? Do you want to know where at least some of those droplets of tuna juice went? I'll tell you. A couple of them went on my shirt, and one of them hit my fucking lip. And that's just kind of disgusting. I wasn't ready to taste that yet. I didn't need it to, like, eject its juice onto my face. Wait a minute. That absolutely didn't sound right. I did not need it to... Never mind. It is what it is. I've already said it. It's out there in the ether. So let's give this a sniff check. And oddly enough, that doesn't really smell fishy at all, which makes me pretty happy, because I wasn't happy about this particular ration item in the first place. So this does look like it has, you know, a good bit of red peppers in there, and then obviously some of that stanky tuna. And it's pretty juicy in there, so I guess this isn't packed in oil. Maybe it's packed in the juice of the vegetables and just the natural water, whatever, the blood of the fish. Blah. So yeah, let's get all that yummy goodness out of there. Do I really have to sit on this goddamn can? God damn it, it's got the nutrition information on the back. Who does this shit? That looks nasty. So anyway, now we have some chicken slices, which if this sticker will cooperate and come off of here without... Damn it. If this sticker will come off of here and cooperate without... Fucking asshole. Alright, so I took a picture of the sticker because that's all I'm going to do here. So let's get that sticker out of the way. Oh, then it comes off in one piece. Fucking turd. So anyway, now we got some chicken slices going on. So let's see what this looks like. I guess I've really been spoiled by some of the rations I've been eating recently. Having lots of components and lots of other stuff. So maybe I'm being a little too critical of this ration. But that's okay. Because it's mine and I can... Well, that doesn't look like any chicken slice I've ever seen. That looks like somebody already had a bite of my chicken. God damn. Check that out. It's like somebody at the factory was like, oh, I'm hungry, and just like jammed their spoon in there and just took a big old bite of my chicken before I even got it. Let's give that a little sniff check, see if that survived the journey. And it certainly did. It smells kind of like chicken lunch meat. Let's see if we can find a good tool to extract this chicken out of the can. That shit is welded in there. See if we can't borrow... Yeah, United Arab Emirates wouldn't mind helping us with a little chicken loaf action. Let's just cut that right down the middle. See how much of this we can actually extricate from this can. Maybe in quarters? I don't know why this is called a chicken slice. I haven't seen a single slice yet. Or maybe the translator is just as per usual busted. I guess I'm just going to have to start really digging this shit out of here. Alright, let's see how bad it is. We're just going to tuck into some chicken loaf, which is essentially what this is. There's zero texture to that. So this is just like a canned chicken pudding, which, isn't that bad, but it's really like luncheon meat. I guess I should have just started digging hunks of this out of here before I even bothered trying to cut it. It really did say chicken slices on the can, so I expected something a little different, but that's not what I got. So I got this big old chicken pudding, which, you know what? I'm not even that upset. I mean, as long as it tastes good, it shouldn't be too bad. And there certainly is no wasted space in this can, well, except for that, teaspoon somebody decided they wanted to nom-nom on at the factory. Otherwise, this thing really is packed full of meat. If it's decent, shouldn't be too bad. Give me all that chicken pudding. Ow. And people said the Russian meat was kind of weird. Well, the Russian meat is kind of weird, but this is one of those, a little bit strange ration items. That's definitely like just complete chicken pudding. We'll see what it tastes like here in a second. But that's what the end of that can looks like after you scrape all your chicken pudding out of there. Kind of interesting. Well, this is looking kind of weird. I have to say, I've seen more appetizing looking ration trays at this table. But let's start cracking into this lunch. So let's grab us a half a kek here. And let's get a decent sized piece of our chicken pudding. And throw that right up on top of one of these multi-grain keks. Aren't you jealous? I know you're jealous. Like right now you're thinking, that's totally my bite, and you're about to eat it, you dirty bastard. I know that's what you're thinking there on the other side of the YouTubes. But let's chuck some chicken pudding and a kek back in the face. See what that's bringing to lunch. I mean, this is kind of just like eating a big-ass piece of chicken bologna, but let's give it a go. And that is absolutely what that is. That is literally a 200-gram can of chicken bologna. It's not horrible. It's just not great. To be fair, I would have rather just had some stewed beef, or hell, stewed pork, stewed chicken, anything. Just like real meat. This is definitely just a can of chicken bologna. Not the worst thing I've ever had on a ration tray, but certainly not all that interesting. It's not a horrible quality luncheon meat. It's just not that great. Certainly, I would definitely want to feed a soldier better than this. But I guess if this is what you get in Croatia, that's what you're stuck with. You and your chicken bologna can. That is, I don't know, maybe just a little depressing, maybe a little morale sapping. Like the only really morale boosting items that I've seen so far were the pate, and that's just a me thing. Maybe that beans with sausages would be a morale booster, having a nice hot meal, but this is definitely a basic bitch ration. And this chicken bologna is absolutely a basic bitch chicken bologna. And honestly, that chicken bologna almost has no moisture to it, so when you put one of those crackers in your mouth, even with a large hunk of that chicken bologna, it kind of gets hard to chew. Let's move on to the part that I'm sure you've been waiting for, is to see me stick some of this tuna in my face hole. So I'm going to get one of these guys and break it in half. Then I'm going to reach over here and, oh, damn it. And we're going to put some tuna. We're going to make sure we get some veggies on there to try to cut the fish with some veggies. Come here, green pepper. What the hell? So we'll just slap some of that tuna nasty right on that keck. And there it is. There's that big glob of tuna and veggies on a cracker. You know that's going in my face hole, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to love it or not, but let's give it its day in court. And I really think we should sign an international treaty about putting tuna in rations, because that is the absolute best tuna I think I've ever had in a ration. And you want to know why? Because it doesn't taste like tuna. There is a very heavy taste of green peppers and vegetables in that tuna that almost completely masks the fact that that's fish. That's pretty amazing. Whatever they added to that is absolutely wonderful. It's honestly more enjoyable than the bologna, because the bologna is, well, kind of dry for what it is. I'm really liking the veggies in here. I'm absolutely completely shocked that I'm saying this, that there's fish in a ration, and I actually like it better than the standard meat item. That is actually the best tuna I think I've ever had in a ration, and mainly because it doesn't taste like tuna. It doesn't even smell like it, which is pretty amazing. Let me get it. All right, maybe it smells like it just a tiny bit, but it smells more like vegetables than it does tuna. Absolutely amazing combination. This is probably just about the only way you're going to get me to eat fish and be happy about it. So I'm sure there's some people out there clapping right now. Some people out there that are depressed that I didn't make a big deal about how nasty this was, but I tell the truth about everything. This is actually very edible, and I'm going to keep on eating it. That taste of green peppers in there, though, that's actually really, really nice. One thing I can say about this ration is it really does not hurt for protein. So although this may be a really basic ration, one thing they certainly have covered is you get a good bit of meat in this ration. You get 115 grams of tuna and vegetables. If you're a tuna person, that might really push your buttons. You also get 200 grams of this chicken loaf, which is just kind of mediocre, but it's certainly a lot of protein and fat. And you have the pate from breakfast. And I imagine there's some sausages in this beans with sausage can that we're about to get into. So there's quite a bit of protein in this ration, which is always a really good thing. Let's get back to it. Let's put down some more of this tuna. And these kecks being really dry, they go really well with this tuna, simply because the crackers are so dry and the tuna has a good bit of moisture to it. Really helps the crackers go down, which is kind of nice, which is weird for me to be sitting here actively going after the tuna, saying good things about it. That's kind of a weird video, but I can't help it. I promised you guys and myself that no matter what, I would always tell the truth about the crazy shit that I'm eating on this table, because otherwise, what's the point? If I'm just going to talk something up because it's neat instead of talking it up because it's actually good or bad. I've seen some rations I thought were really cool and had some nasty fucking food inside of them, and I told you guys about it. And then there's this one that's kind of a basic bitch, but has a couple of items in there that really shocked the shit out of me. I really think this chicken loaf is just best eaten on its own, because with the crackers are just way too dry, and this is just kind of spongy and almost dry in its texture and consistency, which is kind of weird for a luncheon meat, but it is what it is. Everything's all topsy-turvy and upside down. I'm sitting here eating tuna. This is absolutely crazy. Maybe I should just call this the bad mood review or something, simply because the morning really got me off on the wrong foot. Having to go for another cup of coffee after this breakfast just kind of set me off on the wrong foot. Hopefully I'm not shitting all over this ration, because these are extremely hard to get, but I'm just calling it like I see it. If the ration put me in a bad mood because it didn't have any goddamn coffee in the morning, well then so be it. I guess I'm just going to sit here, smile, and eat my tuna? That's the weirdest thing I think I've ever said. You know you want this hunk of chicken pudding. It's your chicken pudding. You don't eat the chicken pudding. All right, well, it has been sitting back here patiently awaiting my attention. And for a change, when I've stuck my spoon in tuna, I can actually just kind of wipe it off with my face. And that's absolute crazy sauce. You know that tuna doesn't taste anything like tuna if I am able to just like lick it off the spoon so I can get into the soup. So speaking of the soup, let's check this guy out. There's actually quite a bit of noodles in there, all things considered, for it just being supposed to be just a broth. But let's bring that up so you can get a nice close look at that. Little baby noodles in there. Let's see how this tastes. Not too shabby looking, just a little beef noodle soup as it drips over the edge. Pardon me while I bring this closer to my face, because I already have tuna on my shirt. And that's not bad. Certainly not the best soup I've ever had. It's a little on the weak side. Maybe I put too much water in it. Actually kind of tastes like chicken soup more than it does beef, but the package clearly says beef. The noodles are nice and soft, not super chewy. They hydrated really well. See some seasonings floating around in there. This is pretty basic. Would be great on a cold day. Otherwise, meh. I'm not even sure I would bother with this unless I was extraordinarily hungry. This is just kind of mediocre. It actually kind of reminds me of a poorly flavored ramen, or a mislabeled ramen, like it was labeled incorrectly. It was actually chicken and they put a beef wrapper on it. That's kind of weird. Let's check out this tea. It's been sitting over here patiently waiting my attention as well. And that's probably about 350 mils of water, and that's perfect for that. Nice and sweet, a little bit of vitamin C kick to it. That's actually really good. No artificial sweetener taste that I can recognize right off the top. That's actually a really yummy instant tea. We're definitely getting our vitamin C for the day. That's a good thing. That's a really good instant tea mix. Last but not least, let's start checking out some of this mixed fruit spread, which is really just more like a mixed fruit sauce. It's kind of thin in its consistency, so let's just pour some over a biscuit here, because that's pretty much exactly what you do with it. And let's get some of that guy in the face. Let's let you check it out first. Has a nice amber hue. I'm trying to make the best of a, relatively mediocre situation. And let's see how this mixed fruit spread pairs with the Keks. That fruit spread is very interesting, but not very special. It is extraordinarily sweet. You really can't pin down a single fruit flavor for me to describe to you. Other than this kind of just tastes like an overly sweet, really pureed applesauce, maybe with a little bit of a vitamin C kick to it. But otherwise, the only reason why you can eat this much of that fruit spread on one of these Keks is because the crackers are so damn plain. Not the most interesting ration item. It's certainly something sweet. It makes the crackers more interesting, but it's almost a little bit oversweet, even on these crackers, which definitely soak up a hell of a lot of that sweetness as you're mauling it to death inside of your face. Let me try another one and see if it changes my opinion. It's crazy. Apparently in Croatia, when they give you something sweet, they fucking mean it. I mean, when they give you something sweet, it is so sweet that you almost don't want to eat it. That's kind of the way I feel about this mixed fruit spread. Like that dried pineapple at breakfast, I didn't even finish that stuff. It just went in the trash can. This stuff is a little bit the same, but it's not all that enjoyable. It's just something sweet. There's nothing at all special about it. Nothing even really crazy inviting about it unless you're just in the mood to rot your teeth. I need something savory to wash all that sweetness down, so we'll hit the soup. And even though it's not that great, that soup definitely helped to balance out my face, because that stuff is sweet as hell. Well, guys, this was lunch. I can't say I'm all that impressed with lunch, except for the fact that that tuna doesn't taste like tuna, which is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in a ration. So I guess if nothing else, the tuna amazed the shit out of me, mainly because it's saturated with vegetables that overpowered the taste of the tuna, possibly a high quality tuna that wasn't that fishy to begin with. One will never know, but I will say that that is the only tuna I think I've had in a ration. Correct me if I'm wrong. I have 90 reviews at this point, so feel free to go back and correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel like that's one of the only tunas that I actually truly enjoyed without having to doctor it up after it came out of its can or package. That's pretty decent. I really can't complain about that, especially considering I like the tuna more than I do the chicken bologna. And that shit's just crazy. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm actually going to finish the rest of the tuna because I'm a little hungry. I think I'm going to leave the fruit sauce. I don't know what the hell I would do with that except for sweeten a whole gallon of iced tea. I might nibble on some more of that chicken bologna, but I'm not all that jazzed up about this. Maybe dinner will change my mind. I'm crossing fingers. There is a big ass dark chocolate bar to go with dinner. So if nothing else, for dinner, I'm going to have a hopefully really excellent dark chocolate bar. I'll see you guys in a few hours. All right, everybody. Well, we are back with dinner. This is everything left in the ration. I've got some hot cocoa over here that I have no intentions to drink in. Yard work will make you hot and not want to drink hot cocoa. So we're going to stick with that orange drink. We have our 70% dark chocolate bar, which I'm absolutely looking forward to getting into. Some papaya, some Keks, and this big ass dented can of Gras, and our coffee candies, which just didn't really hit the spot. They're really good coffee candies, but goddamn it, why wasn't there any coffee in this ration? And in true Ration Nerd 100% honesty style, work has gotten really busy, and I'm actually filming this review days after lunch. Normally, when I do a 24-hour review, I try to give you guys everything eaten in one day, so that way you know how it's like through breakfast, lunch, and dinner, when it gets cold, etc., etc. I just couldn't do it. Work is so busy right now. It's kind of like one of those seasonal things. It's nuts. I'm really busy. I'm struggling to get the content out for the channel, but that's neither here nor there. You don't want to hear my woes. You want to see what the hell is for dinner. So first things first, we have to open up this can to figure out if this shit is even still edible. So let's first crack into this can, even before we make the drinks, because I'm going to get this thing on an Esbit stove if it is worthwhile getting on there. So let's all focus in here on this can lid to see if we have anything squirting out, juicing out, or otherwise just like making me want to hurl on the tray. I'm hoping. Okay, no hiss or anything whatsoever. And I don't know what Gras is supposed to look like other than the picture on the front of the can, so it looks just fine. So let's put that under the old schnoz and see what the schnoz has to say about this can. And that does not smell like anything is wrong with it. And quite frankly, because I don't feel like washing my mess cup, and I know that's kind of lazy, but hey, you know, when you get busy, washing your goddamn mess cup is not something I really feel like doing. I put every piece of trash from this ration in a bag so I can go back and count up all the calories so I can put it up on the front screen for you guys on the intro. The label's not coming off. I'm just doing the calorie count right now. All right, so label's staying on. Fuck it, burning down the house. Anyway, we're going to heat this Gras up. There's no Esbit stove or anything with this ration, so as you can imagine, I have a shit ton of Esbit tablets, Esbit stoves, matches, all that craziness around. So we're going to break out one of these stanky fish gut tablets and just pop it. Oh God, that smells horrible. That just kind of like turns my stomach a wee bit, like that whole fish market in the summertime smell. That shit's nasty. And we have some French matches. Damn if I remember where those precise heating tablets came from. I have a ton of them at this point. They kind of remind me of what comes in a Spanish ration. It is very possible though. So we'll double tap that with some not so great working French matches. Come on, France. There we go. Come. All right, finally. So we are going to heat this can up and we're going to cook the shit out of it on this little Esbit stove. Bent ass can on there. That's pretty much it. It's just going to have to sit there and do its thing. I pray that that does not fall over. Probably should have used a different Esbit stove. We like to live on the wild side here in Ration Nerd Nation, so we're just going to let that Esbit tab heat that Gras up as much as possible before it starts to burn the shit out of it on the bottom of the can. So let's get this drink made up as usual. Don't be a bitch, just hydrate. And I really do like this ration for the fact that it has a lot of drinks in it. I'm sure I said that at every meal of the day, but I'm going to keep saying it because a soldier being hydrated is just as important as them being fed. And giving them lots of ways to hydrate is always a great idea. Fortifying it with vitamin C and vitamins is even a better idea. So I actually really like this drink. It's kind of like drinking a Flintstones vitamin, but that's just fine by me. And let's check out this papaya. I have higher hopes for the papaya than I did the pineapple. That pineapple is just ridiculously, disgustingly sweet. I really hope the papaya does much better. So let's get these Keks out on the tray, which I did, well, pretty much slurp down all of the available, like, smear-on items for the crackers. So it looks like we're just having crackers and Gras. Worse things have happened. Those actually, I really thought those were going to be beat up way more than they actually are, or at least they seem to be. Those survived relatively well. And this double wrapped dark chocolate bar of fucking hopefully absolute yumminess. That looks amazing. I love it. Kind of like the Willy Wonka wrapper. This definitely has a golden ticket in it if I've ever seen a chocolate bar with a fucking golden ticket in it. And by golden ticket, I don't mean an actual golden ticket that gets me entry for 2 into Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. Oh, hell no. I'm talking about that one-way golden ticket to diabetes, yo. I am absolutely all about 70 grams of dark chocolate for dinner. Absolutely. And since you guys know that I am filming this on a different day, look at that, triple wrapped. How awesome is that? I didn't get the golden ticket. I got the silver one though. So this is awesome. Little silver wrapper on the, lots of blooming going on. That's I really wasn't suspecting that, to be fair, but that is all right. We're still going to eat the shit out of this chocolate bar. Me and old chocolate get along really well. Come on, come on, come on. Now, why are you going to make me fight you for the last 2 pieces of chocolate in the bottom of this goddamn wrapper? Couldn't just slide out of there all nice and cooperate with me? Oh, no. No, that would just be too much to ask. Damn it. That looks like it's heating up relatively nice. Let's try to get down in there, maybe, and just give the center of that mess a little poke. Oh, shit. Oh, badness. 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 Done fucked that up. That's what we did. That can is hot as shit. Oh, I'm putting out the Esbit tablet with the food. That's never a good thing. All you people out there that love to see me make a mess, guess what? Today's your fucking day, or at least this is your meal, where I've made a complete mess. That's nasty. I think poking that is going to be probably a pretty bad idea. So I'm just going to let that shit go the way it is, because anything else would be, well, probably a bad fucking idea. Alright, so we're going to have to get this gras out of that can and onto this plate regardless of how much temperature it did or did not pick up. Of course, now it's like welded to the Esbit stove. That's always great. So, here we go with the gras. There's definitely some stuck in the bottom of the can, which we're going to fetch out of there. Give me some burnt beans, yo. Okay, well, that's actually kind of pretty healthy looking. There's no salt and pepper though, so if it sucks, there's just no rescuing it, which is a real shame. Get a look at how much bloom happened on that chocolate. That is a lot of surface bloom. You can see on the edge that should have had a much darker appearance. That double wrap apparently didn't do anything to protect that lovely bar of dark chocolate. That's okay though. I like eating some old chocolate, so I'm actually 100% on board with it. And before this loses any temperature whatsoever, let's get in here and check out this gras, which looks like just basically a couple different kinds of beans. We have some smaller white beans and some much larger white beans in there. There is either a little bit of burn from the bottom of the can or some seasoning floating around in there. I would like to think it's seasoning. And we have these big pieces of sausage, which actually texturally feel a little bit more like an actual sausage and not just like a big ass hot dog. Let's take a look at that sausage. Not too shabby looking. Ow, hot. All right, so let's cut off a piece of this sausage and get some beans to go with that. So I don't know. Apparently I'm just really into showing shit to the camera nowadays and dripping shit on my hands. There is another shot of that, beans and sausage. I missed the last drip. 2 of them got me though. All right, let's check this out. I really do think there's something in the canning process that this sausage probably at one time had some texture, but the canning process just kind of turned it into almost like a hot dog consistency. Maybe it never had a lot of consistency to begin with, although the appearance of it is that the sausage is a much rougher texture on the inside, which would lead me to believe it might have been real sausage at some point. This has a very mild, enjoyable flavor. Some pepper would really bring this to life, but we don't have any. So realistically, this is good, wholesome style food. Definitely yummy, especially if it was cold. Having a nice big old plate, or 400 grams of beans and, well, kind of hot doggy style sausage certainly wouldn't be bad, but having something to season it with would absolutely make it 100% better. And unfortunately, it's not that interesting. It certainly really just needs something. It's good, it's wholesome, it'll fill you up, it's 400 grams of food. And, you know, with the beans, you'll get to make a lot of music with your ass, which is always a whole lot of fun. There have been some items in this ration that are seriously lacking. This happens to be one of them. And the reason why is because there's no goddamn seasoning in this ration to help you out with something that is relatively bland. And there's a lot of sauce in here that we're going to have something to do with. So I'm going to smash up some of these crackers, or these keks. I'm going to get them in there to start soaking up some of that sauce. As a soldier, you're going to need all those calories, and you're going to need to eat these keks. And if you're like me and screwed the pooch and used all of your items like for dipping and spreading the keks in, all in like 2 meals, well, you're kind of shit out of luck, and you kind of have to put your keks in this meal. Shit happens. I messed up. I'm sure some soldiers would do the same thing, just not thinking or just not giving a shit. And in all honesty, the amount of money they spent to produce this ration, I certainly feel like they could have done better. Dried fruit, no matter what, is always kind of an expensive item. They could have replaced one of these and had enough money to put another, I don't know, even processed food item, something sweet or something savory, something different, or had the rest of the soldiers' necessities like butt wipe, napkins, some silverware, some salt, some pepper, just some basic shit, maybe even some hot sauce. Kick it up a notch. But they certainly didn't. That's a little disappointing about this ration. The packaging that it was in was really well done. The ration itself is certainly, well, it will feed you. But as far as making a really happy soldier, I don't know. I guess that would depend on what the eating standards were in Croatia. It certainly has a good bit of calories and protein and whatnot. These food items just weren't all that interesting, and it's a real bummer. Those keks in that bean sauce, that's actually a really good look. They taste really good together. Probably not going to be enough sauce to use up all the keks in it. It certainly bulks out the meal, and it's pretty damn tasty. Those crackers are actually really good. I hate to say it, these crackers are bland. Now, they're not completely bland, but they're certainly a more bland flavor profile than this main. But adding these to the main adds a bit of texture and, well, is a really good way to use them up. And quite honestly, makes it way more interesting, even though it's bland on top of bland. Makes it way more interesting to eat just because it's texture and a little bit of different flavor to kind of jazz it up a little bit. This looks like a big ass cracker mess, but that's okay. It's certainly helping out getting these beans and sausages in the old face hole. It really sucks when you get a ration you've been looking forward to for a really long time, and it turns out not to be all that in a bag of chips. But that is the ration game, folks. In case you weren't paying attention, some of them are good. Some of them are bad. Some of them make you hurl. Then there's some of them that are just like little gems, like finding a diamond right in the middle of a giant turd. Sometimes the ration game is a hell of a lot of fun. Well, it's always a hell of a lot of fun. And this main has certainly been filling, but not very interesting. And there it is. As it is getting cold, that is the last bite of the gras with some keks mixed in. Your bite? You bite? You bite? You bite? No? Okay, goddammit. All right, well, let me get this back in the face, and we'll move on to that chocolate and that papaya. And this is one of those drunken one-night stand spoon drops. What do I mean by that? Well, I don't necessarily feel bad about it, but I don't feel great about it either. Kind of like a one-night stand. Sometimes you regret those for the rest of your life, and sometimes you're just like, why did I do that? That was kind of That's how I'm feeling right now about this ration, about this main one-night stand spoon drop. And let's move on to this probably really excellent orange drink. I'm going to get a big old swig of that because this stuff is, well, pretty damn yummy. And that stuff definitely has that vitamin C kick, a little bit of that vitamin aftertaste, which quite honestly, I kind of like it. Maybe I'm just really weird, but that's a really good drink. You're getting a big hit of vitamins, a huge hit of vitamin C, and something that's very interesting to drink. Gotta hand it to them. As far as getting some liquids and vitamins into a soldier, that's a really good idea. Now let's move on to this papaya. Crossing fingers that this stuff is not like the pineapple and just crazy overbearingly sweet. Let's bring that up to your face and let you get a look at that right there. It looks really good as far as dried fruit goes, but let's pop this back in the face and see if we're going to rot our teeth or we're actually going to get some enjoyable dried fruit. I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they decided to make that like super saturated with sugar and sweeteners. If you like things that are sickeningly sweet, this is the dried fruit for you. This is just way too sweet. Again, this is another piece of dried fruit that doesn't taste anything like the actual fruit. There is so much sugar added to this, so much either sugar and sweetener, maybe maltodextrin is just poured all over this stuff. It's so sweet, it's not even worth eating. Kind of makes you feel a little bit on the nasty side when you get a big old mouthful of it like that. That's just not what dried fruit is supposed to be. They could have spent their money somewhere else. That fruit, the pineapple and the papaya, were both nasty. I like sweet stuff, and that shit is just way too sweet. Hopefully this dark chocolate redeems the rest of the meal. So we already stuck that up to your face. So we're just gonna go bold or go home. We're gonna get 2 busted ass pieces of this chocolate bar and throw them right back in the face. And that is a finely aged dark chocolate. Absolutely amazing. Only ever so mildly sweet, as you would expect from a 70% cocoa. This is an amazing chocolate bar. Silky and smooth, a little bit crunchy. It does have some sharp bitter notes in it, which I really enjoy. This is a real quality piece of dark chocolate. They really should have just put a couple or maybe even 3 bars of this chocolate in the ration, because quite frankly, I don't think this entire chocolate bar equals the calories that are contained in that nasty ass fruit. Should have just given you 3 dark chocolate bars. I would have been absolutely singing the praises of this ration. Fuck everything else. The dark chocolate is amazing. Actually, that's not even true. I would have been really pissed about not getting coffee. Coffee candies, you guys are amazing, but you're not a liquid cup of coffee. This chocolate, however, is absolutely banging. I can only imagine if you took about this much of this chocolate and added it into the hot chocolate, it would make that hot chocolate even more fabulous. This is an amazing dark chocolate experience in a ration. This is one of the reasons why I absolutely love this hobby. And yes, in between mouthfuls, I did clean up that mess. It was bothering me. So before we wrap this up, let's check out one of these naughty, silky and cool refreshing wipes. I still have a feeling they got these out of a dirty video store, but that is okay. Maybe I've spent too much time in dirty video stores. Actually, I haven't, to be fair, but wow, that's really small. Maybe these didn't come from a dirty video store, because that is certainly not enough moist towelette to clean up your peep show booth. Oh my goodness. Oh God, that smells so much like grandma. That's so nasty. This fucking moist towelette has got, oh, I'm gonna put it on myself. God damn it. So this moist towelette is really small. It totally smells like stinky old grandma. Doesn't smell like alcohol at all. Not sure what the moistening agent is in here. It's certainly not alcohol. This thing is certainly not wiping your butt. It barely will wipe your face. It's having a hard time cleaning up my hands. Oh, now my fucking hands smell like dirty old grandma. God damn it. Silky and cool is neither silky nor cool. Those are grandma wipes. Maybe they give those to you in the naughty video store to make you feel like an asshole and make you smell like grandma. Remember your grandmother? This is why you shouldn't be in the naughty video store. That shit's insane. Silky and cool's gotta go. The moist towelette itself was too small, not extraordinarily strong, not extraordinarily weak, but damn, now my hands smell like dirty old grandma, and that's never a good thing. So thank you guys for joining me here on Ration Nerd, where we got into a ration I've been wanting to get my hands on for a really long time. This is an individual combat ration from the Armed Forces of the Republic of Croatia. I actually had a really good time with this. I really think this ration, even though it's a 2023 production and it's out of date, it needs work. A lot of shit really needs to go into this ration. They could completely ditch some of the components and add better components into this to get the calorie count where they want it and make a soldier more happy. Take care of your guys. Put stuff in here that they're really going to need. Unless you're handing out a whole separate accessory kit of like TP and salt, pepper, napkins, silverware, all that nonsense. I know, everybody gets a mess cup or a mess kit, etc. Fuck all that stuff. Put something else in the bag other than some of the nastier components that were in here. This could be a really good ration if they put a little bit more effort into it. That's just my opinion, and you know, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. I just happen to be sharing mine with you over the internet. And if you'd like me sharing my opinions over the internet with you, you know what you could do. You could hit that like button, you could hit that subscribe button, and you could talk to me in the chat. It is always a great time to hear from you guys. This is that magic part of the video where I tell you guys if you can find something cooler than this individual combat ration from the Armed Forces of the Republic of Croatia Type 1. Do you know what you need to do? Eat 'em up.
Man, my man said I gotta get on here at the end of every video and be talking and shit, and he still ain't found me a name. He said he think he gonna call me Sling Ration. I call that bullshit. Like, man, that's not a good name. That's like a nickname or something. I need a real name, like a first name and a last name. This motherfucker gonna be like you, Sling Ration. That's some bullshit right there. I don't even know how he come up with this nonsense. But I'm still stuck here, and I'm stuck here because all you Patreon members, he wants you guys to be able to see your name up in lights at the end of the video, because apparently you mean a lot to him. You're like brothers and sisters in the ration game. Like, you guys are the ones he's like, damn, y'all on Patreon paying $5 a month to hang out with my goofy ass. He'd be like, I love you guys. You so 140. You see all the shit he be talking. He'd be like, man, I got like 11 or 12 or 14 people on my Patreon, and that's like the best shit ever, because people think so much of my stuff that they be willing to put $5 of their hard-earned money up on the interwebs to hang out with this dude and get an opportunity to get a free ration. Shit, maybe they're just doing it for the ration. Nah, it's because... Oh, well. Fuck it, I'm sure Ration Nerd ain't gonna like that shit.